Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of Draft League. I am Meeps, and beside me we have King. And today we have a rescheduled game between Don't Ask Us About the Lawsuit, being 2-0 right now, against DRG, the Dragoons. King, how are you feeling about today?
I feel good. It should be a very competitive matchup. It's the top of the table, 3-0 team versus 2-1 team in the draft league. So pretty even ranks for the most part. So it should be a pretty good series, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope it is going to be a very good season. We do have the one of the undefeated teams right now, the Lawsuit against the 2-1 Dragoons. Coming into this match, who are the players to look out for?
Well, I'm a little biased because one of them is my teammates for my
Mhm.
competitive team, but obviously the Stro is someone that's very hyped up in Risen in draft league, and then I think Unwanted Soul and Ubist are players to look out for on the other side, but Stro and Double B are my favorites right now to look for.
Yeah, I do agree. I'm kind of biased too because, as you know, I do coach the Stro, so I do kind of know his ups and downs. So I'm gonna go with the Stro also, but on the side of Dragoons, I'm gonna go for Want Marriage. I think he's gonna be a little bit of an underdog. Wait, is he even playing today? Is he the support getting subbed out?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay,
They
okay.
have a
So
It's a sub top laner for Ubis's team and a sub support for Double B's team.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna go for Want Marriage. I'm hoping to see him leave that bot lane and go get his mid laner and top laner ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest differential in skill will probably be in the mid lane because we have a low silver kind of bronzish level mid laner playing against
Mhm.
someone that I rate pretty highly, like as a mid gold player and albino.
Yep.
So we should see. Oh, it looks like the original support is actually playing, so there actually won't be a sub for Stroh's team, we just found out. But yeah, should be a good series. Hoping to see maybe 3 games.
I hope so too. We do have the Unforgiven coming back and looking at all the champions that these people play. So the support who just came in plays a lot of Braum, plays a lot of Rakan, very very strong right now. We do have a lot of Graggets on this throw, and we all know that he loves his Lee Sin, his Elise. How do you expect that going into Unwanted Soul on the other hand, who plays that Maokai, plays that Jarvan, plays that Sejuani?
Yeah, I think pretty standard bans from all the games. We'll probably see J4 banned away from Unwanted Soul. And then we're going to see things like either Gragas or Lee Sin, whichever one they decide to take away from Stro. And then I assume Aurelion Soul will be taken away from Albino just because it's
Mm.
something he plays pretty well and is a very, very strong champ. They are on red side this game, so we'll see if Hyper Coffee Panda can play the Aurelion Soul and if he could play it to a good enough skill disparity where he could first pick it.
Yeah, looking at the lanes, it's kind of crazy that the mid lane does seem like the weakest link on both sides. How do you expect that to impact the games?
I think it'll be a lot of just trying to support their junglers. I think the junglers pretty obviously are just some of the stronger players in the game right now in this matchup. So we're gonna probably be seeing the mid laners just try and play those champs that will help further get their junglers and the rest of their team ahead.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's going to be a jungle game. Whoever ganks first, gets those objectives, is going to have the upper advantage. But it does look like we are about to get in draft. Both sides said they are ready, but they are not ready and up in the draft. We'd love to see. But what do you think is going to be the first ban, first pick?
I like I said, I expect the bans on for blue side for this time for Unwanted Souls team. I'm gonna be expecting something like Lee Sin or Aurelion Soul.
Mm.
And then for the red side, if Strode is an eagle pick, then he'll probably ban J4. Um, that's what I would assume. And then we'll see what the rest of the bans are. I'm assuming they're going to target the bot lane for both teams. Jungle and bot will be heavy focused on bans, and then we're going to have to see whatever's left open to grab first.
Yeah, I do agree. I do think that Stroh, if he does take the ego pick, I think he can get punished for it. He does like that play aggressive style, and if he dies once, as we both know, his mental goes out the window. He goes, "Oh, I died once. Game's over."
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see a more put together show today, and probably not trying to giving someone their main champ on what is probably one of his best champs and one of the
Mhm.
best champs in the game right now on the patch. So yeah, we could probably assume that we're not going to see J4. We're probably not going to see Reliant Soul. We're probably not going to see Lee Sin or Gragas, maybe Graves. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. And we are going into pick and ban right now.
Yeah, pick and ban is getting started. We have DRG on the side of blue, Lawsuit on the side of red, and Bud. Get Hubbard might be a first ban coming up from DRG as a Ballhead main meeps. Ballhead is very, very impactful in the right hands, and it does not. Unfortunately, I don't know if that was some of Plugin plays it or if that was that a nab towards me. But Wukong gets banned on side of DRG and driving on the side of SUED.
Yeah, I think it's very common for junglers to get banned, and like we were talking about, the jungles are probably gonna be the way to get their AD carries rolling. So we're probably gonna see 2 to 3 bans on each side from jungle, if not bot lane. So it doesn't surprise me to see things like Wukong and Gragas taken out of Stroh's kit is some of his best champs, and then obviously J4 for Unwanted Soul.
Yep, as you said, this game is going to be focused around the junglers, and all I see right now is jungle bans. But this time a support ban does come out. We do have the Zyra being banned.
Yep, and Stroh's gonna get 3 banned. He must be loving this because he never gets 3 banned anymore. But Stroh getting 3 banned possibly, and the Zyra. Oh, instead it'll be the Zarya for double B. That does make sense.
Yep, Zyra getting banned, and on the other side, Caitlyn gets banned right back. Both ADCs, both very strong right now.
Yeah, it makes sense. WB likes to play a lot of champions that can skirmish really early, so Caitlyn will stop a lot of that and neutralize lanes. So it definitely makes sense that you don't want to give over that Caitlyn pick and get bot lane into more of a skirmishing style. I am not surprised though to see the Sejuani being something that's hovered early. Unwanted Soul, when he's not able to get his Jarvan, does like to go a lot to tanks. We're going to see how Stroh wants to punish that, probably knowing that going into the games, as we do see the immediate Xayah. Will we see the Rakan go with it? And we will.
We do, yep. We do see the Rakan and Xayah with it. As I always say, Xayah, Rakan, even after the Xayah nerfs a little bit, Rakan is still the best support alongside threats, and then Xayah is still one of the best ADCs. So this lane, it does lose pretty often from what I've seen, but it's still very, very, very strong.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how they want to follow up and play against it. They can play poke into it, or they can just try and neutralize the lane by playing something like Ezreal Karma. So we'll have to see what they want to do. But instead, they're going to go. Looks like probably for all in. I would expect this to be Kai'Sa Nautilus to just try and match and punish the Rakan. But we'll have to see. Instead, it'll actually be Thresh. Okay, so more skill disparity with the Thresh, but it makes sense and more playmaking ability.
Yep, I do like the threats as Thresh does kind of Rakan, and we do have the Stroh Bel'Veth being locked in.
Yep, he told us earlier it was a possibility, and he just locks it in first game into the Sejuani. Takes that Bel'Veth. It's going to go in the jungle when we'll try and get some farm here to impact the game later.
Yep, now that Bel'Veth is picked, it kind of changes the dynamic of the game. Do you think Rift Herald becomes the main objective?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Rift Herald is literally the most important thing when Bel'Veth is in the game. It's kind of like with Shyvana. When Shyvana's in the game, you want to focus Drakes. It's an opposite playstyle for the Bel'Veth. So pushing lanes and winning lanes in mid and top will be very important. And it makes sense that they're going to complement that with the Zyra Khan that can play on their own in the 2v2.
Exactly, Zyra Khan, very, very good lane, very, very safe. And as the Owen ban for the side of Lawsuits, followed by the Silas ban going against Lawsuits.
Albino. Yeah,
Albino, yeah.
yeah, it makes sense. Albino's most biggest played champs are Silas and Aurelion Sol. I wouldn't be surprised if those are the 2 bans that get banned against him. And it looks like for Sud, they're kind of worried about just keeping a neutralizing lane for top side. So they're going to get rid of that Ornn. And it looks like the mid lane will actually be targeted for the Veigar, for that safety the Veigar can bring.
Yeah, Veigar, very, very easy champion to play. Straightforward. Just farm your stacks up. Press R when one of the members on the other side is low. I do like the ban, especially if both mid laners are kind of on the weak end of your team. But coming into the last ban for DRG, 8 seconds left, it is going to be a Vladimir ban.
Interesting. Not something I would really associate, but maybe it's a flexible champion between top and mid because DeRizen is actually a mid laner who's playing top lane for Draft League. So it wouldn't be surprised me if it's something they were just afraid of seeing being double flexed. So as expected, we're probably going to see the Aurelion Sol, and it does get locked in. It's just one of his most comfortable champions. Gets good push and can scale evenly into the game.
Yeah, Aurelion Sol, one of the best late games in the game, but his early game is very, very weak. So I would like to see an early game champion like the Fizz, like the Zed, ones who can go in and one-shot Aurelion Sol. Could go Annie, any one of those. But Sion getting picked for DRG in the top lane. Blind Sion, very, very safe, and it does get locked in.
Yeah, it's pretty curious that they're the ones that end up actually banning Silas and then picking Sion when they have a Sedge, because as we always talk about, and when we do our Unstoppable cast, we really want to see Sejuani used with a bunch of melees. And that's just not what's happening right now. I mean, Sion is a melee, but you're not really going up there to gank the Scion with
Yep.
Sedge. So what Stroh's team has basically done, or in Sude's case, is basically just saying we don't think you have a champion that can match or deal with this Aurelion Soul. The skill disparity might be a little bit too high. So they go ahead
Mhm.
and blind the Aurelion, and then they're gonna see the Oriana get picked into it, which is somewhat of a counter. It just does really well in lane and
Mhm.
can scale pretty evenly. And then on the top lane, we're going to see a tank fight with the Scion versus what is more than likely going to be a Mundo.
Yep, Mundo does get locked in. I do like this Mundo. You have a lot of CC and slows on the side of DRG. And as we all know, Mundo can stop one of those full engages. So threats Hook, Flay, Sezuani, Aura, Scion, Knockup, Oriana, Ulti. Any one of those he can stop, which is a big deal when it comes to team fights in the later game.
Yeah, exactly. And DRG's comp is very short ranged. The Kais is
Mhm.
very short ranged to
Yep.
carry, and Oriana is a pretty short ranged champion in her own mind.
Yep.
So it definitely makes sense for the Dr. Mundo can completely ignore everyone and just run straight at the squishier champions in the game and could be a huge problem for them. So it definitely makes
Mhm.
sense that you want to get rid of those champs. I do like Sude's draft a little bit more just because they have a little bit more of the power picks. The biggest question mark will be the Aurelion, no, I'm sorry, the Belveth to see how he does into 4CC champs. Makes it a little bit difficult to pull off that Belveth, but maybe he's
Yep.
just going to try and use his hands to just win the individual matchup. But I mean, they have the best bot lane in the game with the Zyra Khan, and they have the Aurelion Soul. So I think it's a pretty good draft for them so far.
I do agree. And then I had to point out something that I think is kind of a very it could be a bad sign. I think the side of DRZ does not have a lot of damage. They're relying
Yeah.
on Kaita, pretty much solely Kaita, unless Oriana goes that full AP build. But that leaves it vulnerable to the ganks from Rakan Belveth. So I think that she's probably gonna go Roa, if I had to guess, to survive lane. But then that means Kaita is the only damage dealer on the side of DRG.
Yeah, and it makes that's what we're always talking about. What makes the comp very risky because it's a very short range AD carry,
Mhm.
and she wants to assassinate backline, but it's pretty hard to assassinate backline when you have an Aurelion Soul with his ultimate. You have Zaya who can just pull the feathers back. You have Rakan who can charm you instantly in the W. So it's a very hard game to play. Kais in this game, we're gonna have to see the skill disparity if he can
Yep.
make this pick work with the draft. I would have definitely have liked to see a little bit more damage on their side after going tank top, tank jungle. Like you really need a very high damage mid.
Mhm.
Oriana could do that in some ways, but it's more of like that wombo combo. Like gets like some pretty good ultimates, but I feel like they're gonna have a really hard time killing a lot of the champs in this game right now.
I do agree. The pick potential is not that high, but you do have a Sezuani, and if you get a good ultimate on that Aurelion Soul, on that Zaya Belveth, it doesn't matter how much damage you do, they lock down for 2 seconds, and that is usually almost always a free kill. But King, going into this game, what are the objectives from both sides? What are both sides looking to get this game?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I think it's gonna be a split map. I think DRG's definitely gonna be focusing on the bot side of the map. That's why you have the Thresh. You want a lane kingdom that lane. That's the whole reason why you're picking a Thresh, especially right now with the new change with the Qmax.
Mhm.
Being so good that you really want to focus, especially with that, you can throw the lantern, get Sejuani involved. All of a sudden, that ball lane it becomes really scary if you're Zyra Khan, if Rakan's getting hooked, or so on and so forth. And then on Sude's side, I definitely think that they're going to play towards top side, like we talked about. We want to get this Belveth getting Rift Herald. We want to be able to get our Aurelion Soul stacking and scaling later into the game. So I definitely think it'll be a split map in that sense. But we will have to see also if Stro on Belveth just wants to get that bot lane ahead because usually once he gets to will be ahead, it's pretty lights out from that point.
Yeah, Belveth ahead is very, very scary, but we're about to get into spectator delay. As always, King, get into spectator delay. Who do you think wins this game? How far do you think this series goes?
I would like this game. I would like this to be a three-game series. If we're going to get to that point, I do think the draft will have to improve a little bit on DRG's side. And with that, I'm going to take Sued for game one just because I think their game
Mhm.
one draft is just really good. And it's pretty, like, there's not a lot of ways that are it's not very threatening for them unless Aurelion Soul's getting constantly hooked or
Yep.
Zaya or Belvev. So I definitely just favor Sued's draft right now.
I'm gonna go with you. I think the same way. I hope this is a three-game series. I think Sud have the better comp, way more damage. But we are gonna get into this break for delay. We'll be back in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Draft League. We are now in game between the Lawsuits and the Dragoons. We have Lawsuits on the red side, and we have Dragoons on the blue side looking at a 5-point coming out. King, how are we feeling?
Doing good. Everything looks pretty normal except for like what you called it before we got into this was the what is that rune? The
On threat?
aftershock on
Oh, yeah.
Thresh. But outside of that, I think everything looks pretty normal. Nothing looks crazy
Mhm,
on either side. Summoners are pretty good. I mean, the only thing I guess you could say is that maybe there should be a cleanse on Zaya, but I guess he's just gonna not get hit by Thresh or Sedge. But
mhm.
personally, I would have just taken cleanse, but that's fine. Outside of that, I think everything else is pretty
Minions have
normal.
spawned.
Yeah, I do agree on the cleanse on Zaya. I think he, in his mind, he's like, I can just ulti whenever they're going on me, but you never know when that Sejuani ulti is going to come out of nowhere. The threat's hook is going to come out of nowhere, and since you have no cleanse, you could easily die in 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what we're gonna have to see, especially later in game, right? If the
Mhm,
ulti's ever down, if he ends up getting caught out, that could really affect how they want to play the game.
Yep.
But outside of that, it's pretty standard start. The Bel'Veth is actually starting solo on the top chickens, whereas Sedge is starting on the top side with the blue buff. So both playing towards their bot lanes.
Yeah, both playing towards their bot lanes, which I like to see because even though Bel'Veth, we want her to play that top side, if you start top side, ironically, if you keep playing clearing over and over and over again, the Rift-Tailed will spawn when you're on the top side.
Yeah, and really good trading going on early by this Orianna, using her phase rush really well and getting a really good trade here, level 1,
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah, Orianna doing trading very, very good. People underestimate the passive on Orianna. It does do a lot of damage if you just
Yeah.
keep letting her auto.
Yeah, that's why I guess not surprised, but it is based on just comfort, but I think Airy would have been really good to punish. Like, you just go Airy and Scorch, and you try and punish this Aurelion as much as possible. But the phase rush does make sense. You want to survive some of these ganks you might be seeing later, as we do see bot side get level 2 first for the side of DRG, so they push in that Zyrakan.
Yeah, Zaya Rakan getting pushed in, but as a Rakan, you do not mind this because you are one of the weakest engaged champions prior to level 3. So all you're waiting for is level 3, and then when you get your Bel'Veth coming down to help you out, that's where you start doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's more than likely they're just giving a pressure knowing that their Bel'Veth is going to be going.
Orianna could kill this. Lilian Soul getting very low, down
Yeah.
below 50 HP. Has to back 3 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and I don't believe he has 300 gold right now, so he can't buy anything but either boots or pods. Yeah, he's gonna go and buy pods. So pretty poor start right now by Albino. Not really looking too sharp right now on this pick. Got to see some better trading here.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't realize or didn't respect the damage from Orianna. Probably thinking like, oh, Orianna doesn't do a lot of damage, but totally forgetting that her passive will stack up and will do a lot of damage. But we do have Sejuani and Bel'Veth gonna be meeting up here in the spot jungle. Yes, they do see each other. And the Zaya threats do have pile as they moving up. Rakan going in on to the Kaisa, barely misses. That was extremely close. Wait a minute, he's going back in. Blended going out. Kaisa getting some poke out. Q from Rakan. That hook barely hit the minion.
Yeah, just barely missed there, but good pressure nonetheless, and create some pressure there for the bot lane. And actually looks like Stro was able to get the Scuttle Crab there because of the pressures that he had in the mid lane.
Yeah, because of that pressure, he's gonna get that double crab onto the Sejuani, which you hate seeing when you're a jungler. It's not as big as it used to be, but still getting that double crab is still a pretty significant advantage to the jungler. But good hook by the Thresh under the Rakan, but Rakan eats right out as there's no flay from the Thresh.
Yeah, pretty good trading here early on. Nothing really crazy. Top lane, we are seeing a pretty big CS advantage so far, though, for this Mundo. Nothing else is really looking that crazy. Back is interrupted by Zaya, though.
Yeah, back is interrupted as mid. We're getting another trade. Mid is just trading back and forth. Orianna has not yet backed, and is only up 4 CS despite her early advantage in lane.
Yeah, the early advantage hasn't really led to much. I mean, she was able to get the cheater recall out, though, and get the tier. So that's not
I think
that bad.
you might cut just for a second there, King, so no one really knew what you said.
Oh,
Unless I
sick.
lagged, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they
Ugh.
cut you out.
Oh, it's
Oh, you
just
heard it?
you,
Okay,
not me. Haha.
I was like, wait a minute, am I lagging? You lagging? But we do have Belveth coming from her fist back, picking up that pickaxe. Looks like she's gonna go full AD, trying to steamroll this game with that green smite being a little bit on the tanky side, but pickaxe, if they do meet up with Sezwani coming to the bot side, it's not warded. They do not know she is here, so this could be pretty big, especially since Zaya has no cleanse. Sezwani pinging in, going behind him, they do not know. Sezwani from the back, Threats going in and Flay lands on to the Zaya. Zaya getting ignited. One, no passive attacks, two passive attacks. Hook from the Threats onto the Rakan. Rakan to ease out, Rakan barely does the flash Q from the Kaisa onto the great Flay. That's a double kill for the Kaisa. As we Belveth coming in, might try to go for a kill here. Does have flash, might be looking. Does flash, does get the knockup. Is he gonna get a passive? No, he's not going for the Threats. Threats gonna flay, good passive by Sezwani, and that's only gonna be a single kill for Belveth. That's Aesol. Aesol looking here on Oyana, gets 3 stacks, does not matter, but that is a 2-for-1 in the bot lane.
Yeah, super well played there by the side of DRG. Like we talked about in draft, when you pick this style of draft, you're just saying we're going to play solely through your bot side. They're able to get the gank off before even Sedge hits level 6, thanks to some really beautiful play there by this Thresh. Like you highlighted on Want Marriage, playing very well so far to start. And then Tice tries to trade a couple kills there, but actually just gets interrupted by all that CC we talked about that he might struggle with earlier. But overall, just very good, very even game right now, which is what we're looking for in this league.
Exactly, we love to see the even games, knowing that both sides are pretty even in skill, but I just want to say that Rakan barely made it out, but the flash Q from the Kaisa was Kaisa 2 kills, and she is going to be up 700 gold on the Zaya.
Yeah, very strong laning so far, very strong trading, even in the mid lane right now. The matchup that we thought would be more towards the Aurelion Sol favorite is actually very Orianna favorite right now. He was able to cheat a recall, get some good trades early, get that tier, and then has been able to use his TP later and still holds about a 7 or 8 CS advantage right now.
Yeah, the CS advantage is pretty bad. His top lane was almost Flame Horizon, but Sion has caught up just a little bit. I haven't been really looking at top lane, but I'm kind of crazy. Oh, but wait a minute, we have a con going in onto 2. I mean, it comes out of it. Threats has no hook as he used it earlier, but that's just going to be a minor trade. But the Zaya comes out a little bit ahead.
Yeah, right now it's interesting that they're trying to be aggressive on the Zybercon where they're essentially down a little bit of AD because the double longsword is ahead here, but we do see a little bit of a collapse going on.
It's separated. It's separated. They're going on to this Zaya. I mean, Zaya and Kaisa both get knocked up. Ignite onto the Kaisa. Thresh gets a kill on Zaya. Zaya going in, trying to get this Kaisa. Kaisa's running away, and it does. The Q gets the kill as Zaya trying to live, but Thresh is too strong. Thresh double kill.
Yeah, but Stroh's coming in, trying to get the makeup kill here to make it a 2-for-2, and looks like he will be able to make it just by auto-attacking.
Yeah, so auto-attacking is going to get that shut down, but Riptail being taken on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So the biggest saving grace in this game is that he wasn't able to get the Rift Herald, but we also have to remember that Belveth has a really unique passive that if there's a Void monster, or champion I guess, in this game, she will get her fully enhanced stacked, and there just so happens to be a Kaisa on the game. So Kaisa, is being a Void creature, makes it so she'll be able to, whenever she kills this Kaisa, she'll be able to get her fully stacked length of her ultimate instead of just having a shorter length.
Yeah, exactly that. And ultimate is kind of like what Belveth is known for and how she gets so far ahead, how you steamroll. But we will see how that goes as I think this Belveth is going Boic. Is that going to Boic?
Yeah, it's Bork right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to go for full carry, try to get these tanks down.
Yeah, the Bork definitely makes sense when you're playing into double, essentially triple tank, and you only have 2 damage dealers. We're probably going to have to see something like a some kind of like Hex Drinker or something to probably deal with this Orianna and the Kaisa, because Kaisa's a little bit of split damage. But we'll see how he wants to, cook with the items here in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. As we are looking at the lanes, Makan getting good vision down in the bottom enemy jungle. Gets 2 wards down, instantly backs up. Threats moving around. I love to see this from supports, leaving lane, getting that vision for the team.
Yeah, and it's we also we kind of glossed over a little bit, but the fact that they were able to take the Rift Herald, obviously they know that the Belveth is on the other side of the map, but they are able to, even with the CS deficit that they're dealing with in the top side, they're able to surely. Oh, here we see a
Wait
fight.
a minute. Nice, that's why I get called out. Ultimate from Aso, absolutely huge. Ultimate from Oriana does not land, and Sejuani barely gets out, but engaged bot lane. Wakan going in, knocks up. Kaisa gets knocked up. Zaya also, is he gonna live? I don't think so, but oh my god, Wakan ulti doing so much work, but Thresh gets another kill onto the Zaya. Kaisa, are you gonna live? Kaisa 5 stacks. Goes off, but Wakan is, I think he's gonna kill this. Oh my god, she is so low, and she does die as he turns around. But Thresh gets another double kill. It's a 4-1 Thresh in this battling, but Belveth is here for his kill. Go die to it. Go die to the turret. You are dead, good sir. You have nothing, and that is another kill and another shutdown going to Belveth.
Yeah, we are seeing the lack of cleanse really hurting the Zaya right now. They just are igniting her, and she has no answer to it. Same with the exhaust. I mean, like, just the straight up use of the summoners when the skill shots are landing are causing a lot of problems for the Zaya right now. And then, although it's becoming a 2-for-2, the problem is that this Thresh is getting all the kills, so it's not actually helping snowball this Kaisa to be even stronger. Was on the other side, the Belveth is recipient of 3 kills now and is very much ahead in the pace of the game.
Yeah, Belveth have a lot of gold, but decides to stay bot lane. Belveth's still here, but Kaisa does have flash. He could get out here and plant a beautiful lantern by the Thresh, and she is out.
Yeah, really, it makes sense. You didn't really have a lot of camps open, but obviously you want it back. He has about 2,300 gold he needs to back on right now.
Use Q's from his Mundo. Mundo could kill.
Oh!
That's a flash from the Scion. But he
still bot.
Yeah, Stro is still bot. He's still looking for this, but wait, it says why he's here.
Oh!
Misses, but it's on the Wakan. Wakan very low. Kaisa getting very low. You need to run away. Zaya doing so much work in the backline. Thresh is gonna die. So Rampage throw. But Aso is here. Aso is here. Teleport from the Oriana. Ulti from Aso. Oh my god, Aso!
Oh, Aso!
But it doesn't matter. He flashes away. Belveth looking
oh
on.
Oh my god, he's going for it.
Oh, Sejuani misses her dash. And that's going to be a triple kill for the side of the Lawsuits.
Wow, I mean, beautifully played to completely read the fact that there was going to be a gank coming on the bot side of the map. Waits it out, even though he has almost 2,500 gold that he needs to back on. Sits there expecting the follow-up gank by the Sedge. Beautifully played and trades 4, or no, was it 3 or 4? I think it was 4.
4 for 1.
4 for 1. Yeah, huge trade.
Yeah, this Belveth doesn't matter if you get whip-tailed or not when you have 6,000 gold 13 minutes in. That's almost 2 items, but Thresh is going to land this hook. I don't think he's going to come out, but wait, he's going in. Thresh is going in. I don't know about
by
this.
Himself.
Belveth turning away Thresh ulti, but I think he's going to die. Ignite onto Belveth, but it does not matter. There's another stack for Belveth. Full ulti from Belveth, but Belveth is extremely low. You're getting extremely low. Shutdown onto Kaisa. Kaisa popping off. Zaya ulti. Zaya ulti is going to kill his Kaisa, I think. That's a kill on Sejuani. Sejuani is going to get 2. That's a shutdown on Sejuani. That's a 3 for 2. Going over to the side of DRZ.
Yep, that is the typical Stro that we know and love. He has 4,000 gold and just continues to do enemy camps instead of backing. That is Stro in a nutshell right there. So he does give up 1,000 gold shutdown to this Kaisa now, who is pretty strong. Both AD carries got a lot of gold there. So as we see, he's trading in the mid lane.
Solo kill to the Aso. Oriana disrespecting the Aso damage early on.
That is the most Aso kill I've ever seen, where they just walk around and they just spit fire and someone dies. I've seen that way too much in my games. Probably the reason why this champ should be nerfed.
I mean, we saw an Aso, and instead of going early game to dominate, we went to Oriana to sustain, and you don't want to sustain a war against a Aso who can easily win coming into the later parts of this game. But we do have 4 people bot side contesting this dragon. Aso is down here, and they're going in on Kaisa. It does not matter. Aso ultimate, but gets hurt. Kaisa doing so much damage that Aso gets one shot by this Thresh hook and Kaisa.
Yeah, it seems a little forced. They were already controlling the dragon there. This Sejuani's not even on that side of the map, and just completely forced to play there, and just gets punished for it.
Yeah, absolutely gets punished. Very much way ahead of his team, but we do have Sejuani in this top side, might be looking for the whip-tail. Belveth down bot lane yet again, decides to go back as the wave is pushing towards him, but that pink ward is also not in the burst. Feels bad.
Yeah, we also have to pay attention to a couple of the builds now. It's pretty interesting to see. It makes sense that Aso is going for Liandry because he are playing against double tanks, so Liandry's is pretty high value instead of seeing the Roa. We do see Orianna going more for that AP burst build, and it will be going for the Luden's Echo here instead of the Roa for herself.
Yeah, like you said earlier, this may be a hard time for them to deal a lot of damage. I think she knows that, so she said, hey, I'm going to go more of that AP style. But Rift Hail does get taken yet again on the side of DYZ. I wonder where they're going to put that this time around.
I would assume they're going to try and unlock the mid lane, because Acel doesn't do like as well on a side lane if you can punish it with a couple players, especially with the Thresh. It's pretty easy to punish side lane if you are using the Lantern. So I would assume just getting that mid lane prio is going to be pretty important if they want to fight the future Drakes.
Exactly, future Drakes. I mean, very important as we are 16 minutes in and 2 dragons are already taken. And I do believe it is a Cloud Soul. Yes, I am correct. It is a Cloud Soul going out, which isn't the best one. But when you have a Rakan and a Bel'Veth and a Mundo, that Cloud Soul is going to be massive for your team.
Yeah, it's pretty good, especially like even for Aurelion Sol. Like most of the time, you see Aurelions leading off fights with their ultimate, so it definitely makes sense that the Clouds will be pretty good here as we see potential pick. Oh my goodness, so much damage!
Kaisa ulted, but she is not gonna. She has no flash.
Yep.
And she gets
now is in a bad situation.
She's behind enemy lines, but doing so much damage. Sejuani going in. No ultimate yet, as it's gonna back out.
Oh no, Albino!
Acel go back in. Q. That's a dead Acel. Acel goes back into the Kaisa.
Yeah, I feel like they should just be leaving. They should just be leaving. They shouldn't even be anywhere near that. There's 5 players on the bottom side of the map for the side of DRG. So Albino just getting caught with his pants down, we'll say, and it gets punished, rightfully so.
Yeah, but kind of over the wall. Zaya left to her own devices. That's looking for something here, not going to go for it. But Whittail does get dropped mid, as that mid turret is down to almost no HP, probably about 1/4.
Yeah, it's a good play there to go for that on the mid lane, like we talked about. We see a play going in the mid lane.
Orianna gets caught out by Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth flashes, and so he was ulting by Sion, but Orianna is gonna fall. Sejuani, Sion are they gonna go in? No, they're not. Bel'Veth gets her passive going. I don't know if this is a fight you can take. Sion going in, gets double knockup.
They have to focus Bel'Veth.
Throw gets a passive on, gets knocked up. Oh my God, huge hook. Huge hook by the Thresh onto the Mundo. I think Mundo's gonna die. Yes, he is. Oh wait, is he? Yes, he is. It's too strong as a huge E from Sion on Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth, you need to run.
Oh, the flash in!
Oh, does not go in.
Where is Kaisa going?
Kaisa, you're behind the turret. Kaisa gets a kill. Is he gonna get this kill? I'm not sure. Stoney's the run. Oh, the QW from the damage reduction from Bel'Veth is too much. And that's a shutdown for Kaisa, but Bel'Veth is still here. Bel'Veth, what are you doing? Oh, gets away from the hook, but gets slowed by Sion. Still looking. Look at the balls on Stro. Still going in.
Fighting 1v3.
Oh my, gets knocked up. Gets knocked up, gets ignited, one's away. What is going on? But overall, that's a 1 for 2 to the side of DRG.
What a crazy fight that is. I mean, that is as crazy as you can get. We see Kaisa under 2 turrets trying to get that shutdown on the Bel'Veth, but not able to. And wow, we just have a really, really explosive side of the map there. It's still a 1.5 gold lead for the side of Sud right now.
Yeah, Sud looking very good. Good fight for the side of DRZ, but that Bel'Veth is a little bit too strong. We do have Kaisa, does now have Q upgraded and E upgraded, so she's going to do a lot more work coming into these future fights.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting build. I'm usually just not the biggest fan of the PD on Kaisa. You probably just want to go as much damage as possible, especially when you're a low damage comp. But trying to get that upgraded on the abilities just can make sense, I guess, in that regard.
Exactly. We do have Dragons spawning in 10 seconds. We have Acel in the top lane with Teleport. Orianna's going up to the top lane to contest. Hook from Thresh does miss, but we have Acel Teleport in the bot lane. Sejuani looking. Sejuani backs off, but they are collapsed. They are sandwiched. We have Mundo in the back. And Acel. Orianna is not here. This could be a 4v5 really, really quick. But they do see them. They do see the Acel and the Mundo. As Orianna is still top lane, but Dragon is being started. Oi, you need to be down here. But Mundo throwing those Qs, missing. Kaisa W'ing. So much poke going out. Orianna is TPing into this fight. It's going to be a 5v5. As Dragon barely being started, but it's attacking, doing a lot of damage. Acel taking Orianna down to half. Bel'Veth gets knocked up. Srelius from Rakan. Rakan could be looking. Huge ultimate. Orianna out of Rakan. Only hits one. I thought it was more than that. But Rakan could get one shot. Oh, ultimate from Lakai is absolutely huge exhaust out of Kaisa.
Oh,
2-9. Oh my god, huge knockup from Belveth. And I think that's going to be a team wipe as Belveth and Acel are doing way too much damage. Oriana, you need to run. Oriana, run as fast as you can. Acel is barely not going to kill, but that is 4 for the price of 1.
yeah, and this is exactly what we were talking about going into the game with the draft. This guy's just having a really hard time staying alive in these fights because she's so short range that the engage can hit on her instantly, and she gets knocked up by the by this Belveth W into Rakan into the Aurelion Soul and is just exploded off the map. So it's really hard for this champ to work in these team fights.
Exactly. Sejuani not using her ultimate, absolutely crucial. When that ultimate is probably one of the best in the game for securing kills. Rakan barely gets his ultimate off with 5 HP. Does fall, but lands the triple knockup, lands the 4-person ulti. Huge play for the side of Lawsuits.
Yeah, and I definitely think the name of the game for DRG should just be trying to pick this Belveth as soon as they can. The Belveth is clearly the angle that's winning them a lot of their fights. They need to use their schedule immediately whenever they see her by herself or just the first target that she can hit.
Yeah, good news for the side of DRG. We did have a second item Wit's End, so Kaisa should be fine for right now into this Belveth. Belveth playing very aggressively. I think we just need, like you said, to force that fight onto Belveth with Sejuani ulti.
Yeah, the 100% the main player to focus right now would be Stro on the Belveth. We're going to see how much this game snowballs now. A huge fight.
It's a hook. E going out, but teleport from the top laner as
huge shockwave
go down. Huge shockwave. Huge ultimate from Aurelion Sol, but Rakan ulti it's doing so much work. Kaisa 1v2 and Kaisa is 1v2 in the backline. Kaisa, you need peel, but it does not matter as Thresh lands a great hook on a Belveth, but it does not matter. Belveth is too strong as Sejuani falls. That is 2 for the price of 1. How many turrets is this going to be? It's going to be 1. Oh, but a great hook on the Rakan. Flame misses. All 3 members of the side of DRG are very, very low. Oriana gets knocked up with no HP. Oriana goes down as 2 members. The bot lane is down to the bot lane to make a miracle play. But looks like the side of Shude is going to back with 8k gold lead.
Yeah, huge fights, just back-to-back huge fights, and that's even with the Oriana getting the shockwave on the Aurelion Soul and 100% blowing up this Aurelion Soul, but that's all their damage right now because Kaisa is being just walked by this Mundo. Mundo does go where he pleases and just completely stonewalls this Kaisa from doing any damage in these fights right now.
Yeah, Kaisa on the other side of the Raptors pit, then a team, kind of a big blunder from the side of DRG. Like, all your damage is coming from that Kaisa, and you have her alone, and that Mundo and Rakan were on her feathers.
Yeah, they definitely need to do. Yeah, they definitely need to do a better job at protecting this Kaisa. She has all the gold on the team right now. I mean, again, we're just gonna say that the build wasn't very optimized when you're the sole damage dealer. But, you know, they need to play around her a little more and try and get her to actually have a chance where she can auto-tech something other than just a Mundo.
Exactly. At this point in the game, you are down 10k gold. It is not about how well you play. It's about how bad the other team plays. You really, really, really need to get these shutdown gold on the Belveth, on the Xayah, on the Mundo.
Yeah, we're going to see here as we do see a pick here.
Knock up behind the Kaisa doing a lot of damage though on the Belveth. I don't think it matters. Knock up from Rakan misses. Belveth flashes. From Xayah flashes. Xayah coming in from the side.
Really
Kaisa's gonna knock up as a dead. Kaisa, Xayah, and Belveth doing way too much AD damage as that is 2 kills. Probably gonna be 3. It is. Sion goes down as Mundo in the face.
It's just running at them.
Mundo is way too strong. 500 stack. Almost heart steal. Doing way too much. Rakan knock up onto Sejuani with Sejuani. And Oriana need to defend, but I don't know if they can. They only have Oriana ulti. First Nexus goes down. Sejuani is instantly killed as Belveth does way too much damage to Acel, and that is going to be game number 1 going to the side of Don't Ask About the Lawsuit.
Yep, very clean game. We see the punishment be made when you first pick a tank jungle against Stro. You try and ban him out, you use 3 bans against him, and it's just not enough. You really got to reconsider their draft philosophy there. If they're going to continue to be on blue side, they really need to think about what else they can first pick, and it can't be that Sejuani because it'll continue to be punished.
Yeah, I do agree. If we do want to go that Sejuani, I would love to see more laners that would help her out. More of that aggressive top laner that can auto fast or just go on that silence in the mid lane. But overall, great game by Lawsuits.
Yeah, very clean game. It got a little messy there. Definitely got to see some better plays by the ball lane, better itemization from the Kaisa would have definitely helped, even though she was just having an impossible situation to try and do damage in those in that fights. And then maybe we'll just see Double B take a cleanse maybe next time when they're dealing with the exhaust and the thresh and the Sejuani. There's just a lot of things you're gonna probably need it for. But outside of
Mhm.
that, everything else played pretty even. Definitely need to see Albano probably have some better laning phase. If
Yeah.
he's gonna get that same kind of matchup, because the laning phase was a pretty big struggle for them. So we're gonna have to see if we can clean that up for them.
Yeah, looking at the game that just happened, it looked like the bot lane for DRG really did win that lane, but it was just the Belveth that came as a janitor, cleaned up. Would you like to see the DRG bot laner go more aggressive? Because they did win lane 2v2.
Yeah, they definitely did. They were winning the 2v2 even with the I mean, it really just got blown open when Stro was able to then pick up kills as the remaining player was like kind of left alone trying to farm or do whatever. But a lot of the problems too was that Thresh was the one getting all the gold. He got
Hmm.
4 of the kills when they were trading 2 for 2 in a lot of those situations. So yeah, even though they're trading 2 for 2 and getting kills, it's going to the wrong person. Whereas one of the kills was most of the time going on the Zaya, and then 3 of those kills were going to Stro really early into the game. So it was very hard for them after that point.
I do agree. Going into this next draft, do you think we ban the Belveth or do you think we leave it up?
I don't think I think Stro is gonna have a lot of champions he can play, but I think we need to just address our draft instead. I think the plans of the draft to just first pick Sejuani is going to get punished by a player like Stro of his caliber. So I really think they need to make their changes to the draft and see if probably get some more damage would probably help
Mhm.
first off on their team.
As I say, we need more damage. What would you like to see? Would you like to see the mid laner going more of that damage oriented mid laner, the maze, the assassin into that ASO? Because ASO is probably gonna picked again, if I had to guess. Or do you want that jungler to go more of the aggressive type?
I think it comes down to team like how they play as a team and the champs that they can play as a team. As we talked about, the mid laners, 2 of the kind of lower ranked players in this game are the mid laners.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if we're really going to see a lot of like very high damaging, high skill caliber champs being played in that mid lane. They're going to be more of that supportive role. I would like to see DRG probably focus as a stronger jungler that can get some damage going. And then if you're to be going for this like solo 80 carry style of comp, you need to play some that is a little bit further range, a little bit more hyper carry threat. I think
Hmm.
Kai'Sa's good in lane, and then doesn't really do anything unless you get a team that can play picks. But against the team that they're playing against, it's very hard for her to play. So,
Yeah.
like we talked about going in the break, we probably need to see something like a Phalios or be playing with the Thresh or a Jinx or something like that that has that 1v9 potential.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, that heavy ADC threat, which I think can happen. Ubits on the Kaisa did a lot of work. Unfortunate that she had to go against the 10-1 Stro. But it looks like we all get into draft. We had the same size as last time. We have DRG on blue side, and we have lawsuits on the side of red.
Yeah, pretty interesting. They're obviously trying to get something on blue side. I'm assuming they're thinking they're gonna ever get Jarvan, which is just should not be the mindset you're ever gonna have. So I think they don't have a lot of value on blue side. And usually when you're the losing team, I just think even if you have a draft plan, it's good to just switch sides to try something different, try and get last pick for somebody.
Mhm.
So I don't really agree with this first pick of DRG being the priority. We're going to see if they're going to change stuff or they're just going to do a salty run back. I hope this first pick will have a little bit more of a chance to do something in the game.
I do agree, as we do have a Lulu being have a Lulu being locked in. It's same exact bands by the way, but this time instead of the Zeri, it is going to be a Zaya, and I'm curious with that Lulu, are they going to try to pick up that Zeri alongside of it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that they would want to essentially handshake the Zeri. Basically, so I do know that Double B does play a lot of Lucian, so I wonder if we're going to be trying to trade the Lucian Nami for the Zeri Lulu.
Mm,
Might be the situation that happens right now,
yep.
as it happens. But yeah, this is kind of the old school way of playing the game right now, so it looks like we are going to be getting that kind of style where it's going to be Lucian Nami versus Zeri Lulu, and then hopefully some kind of jungler that can get proactive early in the game and does some good damage there to augment the fact that they're playing very supportive in top and mid.
I do like the fact of handshaking this lane because last lane they had that Zaya and Rakan, which is a very, very good lane, very aggressive, and they lost the lane. So I do like the handshake. Be like, hey, if you don't go aggressive on us, you will lose eventually. As Owen gets locked in for the top lane of DRG.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was something that was banned in the last game, more scaling. So we're really hoping to see the Zeri here. I feel like it just needs to be the pick as the third champion here. And if that's the case, you really need. Oh, it's actually Pantheon. Wow, interesting.
Wow, Pantheon getting picked. That can be a flex between jungle, mid, and top. It could be an Owen mid if we want to go absolutely wild. But I don't like this pick.
Yeah, it's super interesting because we're just talking about how your team has like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that they're trying to play more early game and they're trying to get snowballing on somebody, which I'm assuming is gonna be jungle in this game. But the lack of now of not being, because I'm assuming Zeri and Jinx or whatever combination of those two champs are going to get banned. There's the Jinx being banned right off the board. You lose that pick, whereas I don't really think Pantheon would have been the ban that comes out on Sood's side. So it's a very interesting draft right now. We're going to see what AD carry is left open that DRG feels comfortable playing for them to be that hyper carry that we're going to need them to be. Wait, are we just not? Oh, we're not banning Zeri.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have the Jinx, Kaisa leaving up Zayn. Kind of lost that one. A little bit lost that one to be honest. But
And they
last
even
man
banned
left
Vi.
it
This is
to
so
Vi.
telegraphed.
It's a Zeri. Yep, it's 100% gonna be a Zeri, which should have been a B3 picked, but at the end of the day,
It
it
doesn't
looks
even
like
get
Zeri gets
punished.
me picked.
Istro drafting. I need to have a word with him. This is not the drafter I'm looking for. Yeah, this is unless they have a plan to deal with the Zeri, this is pretty questionable because this the Elise will be drafted and for the jungle. We assume it is Pantheon in the jungle, I would assume. So it'll be Pantheon versus Elise, two early game champions. Again, we're assuming it's going to be Zeri here for the AD carry pick and then something in mid.
I should hope so. If it's not Zeri, I don't know. I don't know what it would be. Like Lasandra, so that is gonna be a jungle
Good team
Pantheon. You
fighting.
are correct.
Yep.
Very, very great team fighting. Great pick potential from the Lasandra. Oh my god.
No
No,
way! They're going
no.
Kog'Maw!
There's
No
no
shot,
Zeri.
right?
No Zeri. It's
Why
Elise
not just
Jax.
go
Do not go Kog'Maw.
Zeri?
It's Elise
No,
Jax.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
do
no,
not
no,
go
no, no,
Draven. Do not go
no,
Draven. Do
no,
not go Draven, please.
no, 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 no. Come on, dude. Stop
Please.
playing with
Just
me.
go Zeri.
Just
Just go
click
Zeri.
Zeri. You banned Vi for a reason. It's
No, no.
Vayne! What? We're playing Vayne to Lucian Nami? Wow. Oh no, and my caster has left the room. He is that tilted from watching that pick. That is a rather questionable decision. Vayne is one of the weakest, yeah, early game AD carries in the game, and they're going to be playing it into a Lucian Nami and now a TF. Wow, we are just screaming that we are going to be diving this bot lane. So yeah, it is a rather sus draft from DRG. So we're going to see if they can take it and force a game 3.
Man, I don't know how you look at this game and go Draven. Oh, okay, like hey, don't go Draven. That's a little bit too much. Okay, I won't go Draven. How about I go something worse? Let's go Vayne, which I need 4 items nowadays to actually do something in the game. Vayne is so bad right now, especially into Jax, into Nami, into Elise team. Like literally, you don't do anything into this team. I just don't understand. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this Vayne
Yeah,
popped off.
No, I mean I definitely agree with you. Vayne is really good in the tanks. There are no tanks on the side of Sood right now. So it's a very sus pick. I definitely think the pick should have just been Zeri. I mean, it's literally the staple in pro play to be picked with Lulu. They are going just we are gonna just hands diff and that's all that matters. But
Yep.
especially playing it into the Lucian Nami, it's a very strong lane. And to further augment that, you have
Yep.
an elite second dive, you have a TF with ultimate. It is going to be a very difficult lane for DRG
Yep.
to try and survive so that Vayne can get some items.
You know what? Funny enough, pretend the Bane picks like pretend Bane's super good. I would have loved to see threats here again because in
Yeah.
this game you don't need the Lulu to exactly like buff up Bane. You need the PO. You need to make sure that no one gets on top of Bane. So I would have loved to see the Janna or maybe threats, like anything that can help her out, get her out of danger. That's what I'd love to see instead of Lulu.
Yeah, it's again we just have to go back to just questioning the bans because we see the Vi ban, which pretty much always telegraphs that you want to go Zeri, and I guess they just either are not comfortable playing the champion or just maybe don't play it at all. But it definitely feels very weird with how they decided to respond with this Vayne pick. And Sue did a great job on their 4-5 going with the Elise to try and dive that lane. And then the Twisted Fate to further attack the lane. Because we're not going top lane with TF to attack an Ornn. That's just not the game plan. The game plan is this Vayne is now making it to one item. Maybe two if we're lucky here. But yeah, it's a very sus draft, but we'll have to see how it goes into the game and see if we can get into a third game.
I agree, but since we didn't do a break, we're gonna do a longer, extended one this time around, going into spectate the delay. King, who do you think wins this game? Do you think we go to game 3 or no?
Well, there's a Vayne on one team, so I'm going for the team that doesn't have Vayne. It's very simple.
I agree. I think Vayne is the worst ADC in the game right now. But if it
There is
somehow
Jhin though.
lives, I would pick Jhin over Vayne. I'm a Jhin hater, but I think Jhin is better than Vayne right now. But if Vayne somehow makes it out of the lane alive, they have a possibility to win. But I'm going to go to the side of Sood. I think it's going to be a 2-0. And we are going to be getting into break. In just a few minutes, we will come back to game number 2. Please stay tuned. everyone, welcome back to Draft League. I am Meeps, and alongside me we do have King in game number 2. King, how are we feeling?
I'm really laughing because there's a Boots 4 pot on Vayne to start the game. Oh no! Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm
it's gonna be
never
a
gonna live.
rough lane.
I'm never gonna live this one down. This is a top highlight right now.
Yeah, top highlight of my casting 3-month career. We do have the red side, which is gonna be the same exact way it was last game. Red side, we have lawsuits. Please do not weather my lawsuits. I don't know. Hear what the
Don't
teams are.
ask about the
Don't
lawsuits.
ask about the lawsuits. And then we have DRG, the Dragoons on the side of blue. How are we feeling this game's gonna go? Any weird items, runes that you can see?
I guess for items, the thing like I talked about was the boots for Vayne, but he's just trying to try and survive lane. Outside of that, pretty normal. I mean, we see cleanse on both of the carries, which I think is definitely warranted. I am assuming that we are going to need Mr. Pantheon to try and get some ganks going. I would love for him to honestly just focus mid lane. I think Lysandra Pantheon can 100% just kill a TF over and over again, especially if TF has a weak laning phase like he did in the previous game, and then trying to attack that bot lane like that to get their Vayne ahead. And then on the side of the red team, it's pretty much just Elise is just going to path bot and dive bot
Yep.
lane with Lucian Nami and then a TF later.
But
That's
we do have a tease. We have a tease level 1 as W started from Lucin. I think Lucin went a little bit too early, but that is some good trade. Level 1 at least onto the Vayne. Like you said, Vayne does have that boot, so she's gonna do a little bit less damage. It's gonna be quite a bit harder to farm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I think there's gank avenues for both teams in multiple different lanes. I think Elise can really punish mid. Elise can punish top lane because she has Jax. Like, there's a lot of creative avenues here, so I'm really excited to see how Stro decides to play this game out.
I'm excited too, as we do have Elise starting in that top side, Pantheon starting that bot side, vice versa. Lucin, Nami, heal level 2, Lucin, Ian in. I'm curious to see how the Elise is, what she's going to do in this bot side, because the lane is being pushed in, but it should be bouncing back by the time she hits bot lane.
Yeah, I also don't agree with Pantheon pathing towards the top side ever. Like, I just don't see it unless you're going for a mid gank early. You should 100% just be going top to bot because you want to protect your Vayne against an Elise tower dive. Like, I think it's so risky to be pathing this way. It just doesn't feel right at all.
I do agree, it does feel kind of long, but good news on the side of the Vayne bot lane. You do have that polymorph, where you can polymorph the Elise, and she cannot fly up into the air, but do we know that? Are we good enough to do that? We will have to see when Elise comes bot lane.
Nope, because there's pro players who couldn't polymorph Lucian when he pressed R in pro play last year in Worlds,
Hey,
so no.
this isn't the LPL. This is the LPL. This is
NA.
We're better. NA is better. We all know it, but we have Elise. Elise going into the bot side jungle. Could be looking around for his mid. Nope, decides to look. Come back for the Scuttle Crab. Elise on the Scuttle Crab, uncontested. So they should know that Pantheon is near the top side.
Yeah, exactly. Just doing that quick little walk-in just shows Stro what side of the map this Pantheon's on. So we're already seeing that all bot side camps are already cleared. So it's very safe to assume that the Pantheon is on the top side of the map and is actually recalling without even taking Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, Pantheon, we call for some reason. I was thinking Scuttle might want to go down.
Wow, this bot lane.
Yeah, bot lane's getting smacked. Jax is doing really good in his top lane also. But who would have thought that Lucin Nami was a good counter into Vayne Lulu that they picked into themselves. But Vayne used all of her 4 health bots before Lucin has even used 1.
Yeah, this is actually could be a really big brain play here by Pantheon.
Oh, but wait a minute. Whew. That's so close. Sorry.
Yeah, Pantheon is making the big brain play here. He is going bot side, whereas Elise is expecting he's on the top side of the map, but no gank can be made because his Vayne has 100 HP.
His Vayne has 100 HP. I froze for a second. What? I froze.
Oh, the gank!
Take over.
Yeah, the gank going on into the top side. The flash is burned by the Ornn. Elise fall flash! First blood for Stro. Very clean kill there for that 1v for the 2v1. Getting the first blood on Elise is what you want to see.
Exactly. I love that play by Play King as my game froze. What time are you at right now, King, real quick, just so I can be with you?
5 minutes flat right now.
2.
Up, we
3.
see it.
As we are going mid lane, flats from the TF. Going back to safety. Just to make it real quick, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10, 11.
Okay.
Alright, fantastic. We are timed up cool. I love League of Legends Client. It is my favorite in the world. Small indie company. But great gank by the Pantheon on the TF. Burns that flats and great first blood by the Talise.
Yeah, he does everything right. Like, they get the flash with the Jack stun, and then following it up with the flash cocoon to get the first blood. Very well played. As we said, Stro can gank all 3 lanes very easily here. So he really just has, like, the pick of the litter, what he wants to do here. As we look like we are going to be seeing Stro ready for this counter gank happening again.
Yeah. The Sansa going in,
cocoon.
but Mr. Cocoon, ultimate from the Sansa, Pantheon going in, W on the Elise. Elise could be in trouble, returns on Pantheon, Pantheon W. Does all the damage, but does not matter. Pantheon flashes away, at least no flash too. But Navi from the side, wait a minute, TF. Wait, did we just cancel TF's ultimate and he got the kill? Is that what happened? I think the sides were canceled TF ultimate, which made it so he got the kill anyway. But that's a kill for the debate.
Yeah, because the Pantheon couldn't go anywhere because of the Nami collapsing towards the mid lane, cutting out that route of escape, so it ends up hurting regardless. As even in this 1v2 lane, Lucian has full push and is still able to chunk this Vayne out. Really worthwhile pick here we're seeing.
Yeah, still able to do it once. Owen in this top lane getting some pretty good prile. Owen is up quite a bit at CS onto the Jax. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, it definitely just looks like he's just having a better time CSing in the lane right now, whereas Jax is just focusing more on trading than he is on CS at the current moment.
Yeah, we do have TF coming down to this bot side. Nope, instead, just warding the red side of the jungle, not wanting to get ganked from the bot side. Look at that bot side vision. Bot side vision on the side of the lawsuits. It's beautiful. You have every entrance basically covered other than Tribits.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to happen when you have push top, I'm sorry, you have push bot lane and you have push mid lane and your jungler's ahead. So you're just able to put so much vision down on that side of the map that even if Pantheon's even able to attract attention and go onto the spot set, it'll be well seen beforehand.
Yeah, but we do have we have elites in this bot lane looking for a gank to get the bot lane further ahead than it already is, but they see her. They see Elise down here for no reason. As her red buff is up, she could be topside instead.
Dragon?
I do want to... Dragon could be an option, but Pantheon is bot side, so it could be kind of risky for the side of lawsuits.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to be pathing straight towards the... Actually, I don't know what he's doing. He's doing a giant circle. Okay, he's going towards his blue buff now.
Yeah, going through blue buff. I just want to point out, I would have loved to see Relic Shield on Lulu instead of Spell Thief.
Yes.
You are not doing anything in this lane. You're absolutely not doing a single thing.
Yep. Yeah, definitely should have just been playing to survive, for sure. I'm also curious now if we're going to see Pantheon just try and just purely lane gank with his ultimate. It can also get mitigated by this TF pick. So that's why I love this TF pick, because not only can you die the lane, you can also really easily match the ultimate from this Pantheon. As soon as you see it, you can TF ult and just start run to that lane and make it a 3v3.
Exactly. Both bot laners level 6, other than Nami, but Elise is in this bot side. I think Elise is expecting this gank. This could be disastrous for Pantheon, and Pantheon ults in, but nope. Pantheon is not gonna ult, and they
nope.
At least he's going in.
He's going in
anyway. I lied. He's going in. Elise is here though. Cocoon lanes on Pantheon. They can't get one side. Yeah, Pantheon is going to get one side. Lulu ultimate goes out on Vayne. What did Vayne? Wait, Vayne cleanse. What did Vayne cleanse? I did not see it, but Vayne used cleanse. This is no cleanse on the Vayne. This could be a redive, but it does not look like it as Elise is going up to the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, Stro is having a field day. He is reading Unwanted Soul like a book right now. Completely avoids his top side camps, expects, hey, this Pantheon is level 6. We expect him to make the play on the bot side of the map before TF gets his ultimate. Completely reads it and blows him up before he can even use an ability.
Yeah, it's funny because I even saw a question mark ping in the bot lane. They kind of assumed that Elise would be bot lane. But wait a minute, they ain't kind of overextended. But
no mana on Lucian.
No mana. No mana. That might have been a kill. But Vayne getting very, very low. Gonna need it back. Had 1,300 gold. But on the other hand, Lucian had 2,100 gold in his pocket.
Yeah, and he can back whatever he wants. He's just pretty much just holding the lane, gonna try and shove it in before he can back. It's a very dire lane situation, which is what we expected going into it, which is, I'm assuming, what DRG also expected going into picking this Vayne pick. I do agree with you. I think Lulu should have gone Targon's a Relic. I just don't think that you're gonna ever use your item to the full extent. So yeah, it definitely feels like a little bit of a misplay on that side.
Yeah, I do agree, but we do have people getting close to their first item. We have Catalyst on TF, going to go that lower build, a little bit more tanky, which I do agree with because you might get but Elise in this mid lane could be looking for something. This Elise has an anti-Pantheon tracker in her back pocket, trying to counter gank constantly, but I think Lasanza is just going to push and back
He's
with
just trying to
Elise.
Punish, right?
Yeah.
No, he's just gonna collect the wave.
But he's just going to collect the wave as a TF did back. TF could look for a realm here, but I don't think there's anything available. Pantheon farm and not much going on at this moment as the only objective up is Withhailed.
I mean, so you tell me, because you jungle, you know these things. If Pantheon's 0-2, should he really be building full damage?
So I was going to say that, but with a Vayne, you really need someone to do damage in those team fights during the mid game. So I kind of agree going a little bit more damage, but at the same time, you're kind of down 3k gold and you're 0-2 like you said. I think I would like to see him maybe go the route of, man, I don't know, tank
Wouldn't
items,
just,
to be honest.
I
I
mean,
don't play tank, but low tankier, low tankier.
I feel like you can just go Black Cleaver and be fine, but maybe I'm just wrong here in assuming that, but...
I mean, I don't mind Black Cleaver Russ, but I think you should, for a jungler, I'd have to really think about that. I don't know. I'm just going to give you, I don't know. I'd have to really think about that. Because you're playing Pantheon. You can't go tank Pantheon. Like, you can't go full tank. So maybe Black Cleaver probably could be the option, because that does give you tankiness. But maybe like Death Dance, but Death Dance is nerfed as a top side. A lot of trades going out, but we have Elise. Elise is hovering. This could be an easy dive for the Elise.
Yeah, she was also seen. She was seen coming up.
Yep, it's gonna be a knockup from the ONW, but does not matter.
Oh,
as
so
Zax
clean.
Leaps out. Great E from the Zax. Kill onto the Elise, and that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, super clean. He waits till the E already hits him before he releases his strike, and is able to just take one turret shot and just walk right out. Just really beautifully played here right now.
Exactly, as Pantheon going bot lane. Pantheon does have ulti. Gets seen on this ward. I don't know why he just didn't ulti sooner if he wanted to gank, but he's gonna back. I think TF is gonna stop this, though he is not. But Withhailed will be started by Elise. This would be a 12-minute Withhailed.
Yeah, and you can see that the Double B knows what's going on, and they find him.
Pantheon gets found. Lucian doing a lot of damage, but W from Pantheon's gonna get him out of there. Man, how good is that ability? But how bad is Pantheon? Gets out of there. Nothing happens.
Yep, it's he's able to stay alive, but at the end of the day, they are losing the Rift Herald in control, and all that happens really is that Vayne's able to push the lane, and it looks like they're trying to cheese a 2v2, which I would advise against. I don't think they ever win this, but it looks like they're gonna go for it.
They all have Vayne, Lulu going for this. They're waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the knockback.
For the Pantheon.
For Pantheon. Pantheon's gonna all in. This could be actually very, very good for the Vayne. Vayne going in. Has the E. Is he gonna eat?
No, they W.
No
Okay.
E. But that's a dead Nami. Wait, Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate is in the middle of the team. Yellow card onto Lulu. Lulu's gonna die. But Lucian's doing so much damage. Vayne is trying to get this goal, but does no damage. Pantheon Q kills the Lucian. But Lissandra,
when did Elise get there?
Elise Lisa Coon, and that is going to be a dead Lissandra killing Squeeze throw as Vayne is still running away from this TF. Going to get cut off by this Elise. Is Elise going to cut off? Vayne sees her. Vayne, you need a flash. You have flash. Flash away. You have flash. But instead dies anyway. I don't know what we'll do. We have flash on both Lulu and Vayne, but that is a 3-for-1 going to the side of the lawsuits.
Yeah, I mean, they get what they're looking for, which was a quick pick. I think there was some miscommunication there on who they wanted to use the Pantheon W on. I feel like they could have just flash polyed and then gotten the Lucian, but instead they settled for the Nami and trade that one for one, and then the extended delay makes it a 3v3.
Ultimate from Owen and Zax. Flash over the Owen ulti. Owen in deep trouble. Flash from Owen. It's going to be a flash from Zax. Zax doesn't have flash. He flashed over the ultimate, but that's flash for flash in this top lane. That Dragon is started. Oh, it is not started. I apologize. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I saw Nami auto it, but I think there's going to back. He's going to back. Wait a minute. Pantheon Q's going to get this kill. They know Pantheon is top. Dragon is going to get started, and it's going to be a second Dragon to the side of the lawsuits.
Yeah, it's also crazy when you take a minute to really look at the gold lead. There's a 6k gold lead already in this game.
Yep.
Without even blinking an eye, 15 minutes into the game. That is just the power of your your jungle and your mid having and reading the plays, and then your bot lane just playing how they're supposed to. They're supposed to be winning this lane. There's no way they're still here.
Lucin Gale for his TP from the Ornn. I believe
Ornn doesn't have ulti.
Oh, wait a minute. Ultimate from the Lulu lane is fine. Ultimate from, oh my god, it's gonna be a 5v5. But no Pantheon, this is a 4v5. They need to get out of there, Jax.
What are they doing?
Great E by the Vayne, but it does not matter. One goes down. The Sansa goes down. Bot lane needs to run. Yes, they do. I don't know why we're engaging around Pantheon. It's top side. Oh my god. Elise is one shot in this Vayne. Does not matter though, as both bot lane has died from overextending this a little bit. That's a 4-for-0.
Yeah, and it's completely unforced. There's a giant notification on the map when the dragon is taken, and they're still pushing in the wave. So it gets completely punished. The enemy team, DRG tries to respond to salvage the situation, and instead of losing 2 players, now they lose 4. They lose the bot turret, and it is all of a sudden an 8k gold lead.
Yeah, I know I don't play a lot of League like I used to, but I didn't know the new game mode was 7v3. Vayne Lulu is really showing us that you do not go this lane, because it has done absolutely nothing, and it has gotten all the prio from their jungler and mid laner, but it does not matter. We do have a 9k gold lead, 8k gold lead for Shude. We have mythics being completed. We have a 2-item TF with that Loa, and
yeah, TF is so strong right now.
Rapid fire, as Ornn does not have a single item, Vayne does not have a single item, Lulu does not have a single item. I think this game is spelling GG.
Yeah, and especially with how accelerated this Lucian is, Lucian can run around and just start one-shotting people, and they have a lot of squishies. The only person that can survive this Lucian burst right now is this Ornn. So it's a very scary situation, and Lucian is only going to get stronger. Lucian, with the recent changes, is much better later into the game, as we actually see Stro flanking.
Yes, Stro in the bot lane, going to be looking for something here on the Vayne.
No cleanse? No cleanse?
You have cleanse.
No cleanse!
Does not cleanse. Lulu ultis the Vayne. Vayne barely alive. Ease the Elise away. But
still not using cleanse.
He's walking in. TF ulti. Pantheon going down by the Jax. As we have a 4v3 in the bot lane. Jax is going to kill this Pantheon. Pantheon running away. Does die. Vayne dies too. So Elise. Lasanza, you have ultimate. Lasanza, you have ultimate. Ulti someone. Why are we not using our abilities? Lasanza's going to die from Cocoon. Lulu is also gonna die. We just don't want to use our abilities, as 4 free kills yet again. Go to
Alright guys, who's starting the FF vote? Who's starting it? I know someone's thinking about it. Who's starting it? That's all I'm saying right now. Oh my god, not even Ornn can survive anymore!
Damn, it's Nami ulti. Gonna hit this Ornn, I think. Nope, barely out of range. As we are getting down to these tier 2 turrets, 18 minutes in. 2 dragons. What is the dragon soul? Please don't be infernal. It is Infernal. So
oh no.
Infernal soul could potentially go to the side of dude.
Well, if the game gets there, we'll have to see.
Yeah, if the game gets there. Holy.
Yeah, this is something. This is we saw Stro do a really good job at predicting where Pantheon was gonna go early in the game. On top of the fact that Stro has winning lanes and lanes that he can impact. So he wasn't even able, he doesn't even go bot first. He goes top, gets his Jax ahead, then is able to play around mid, and then from that point on is just able to perfectly see where this Pantheon and predict his movements the entire time. So this Pantheon pick that they prioritize so heavily on 3 that they absorb 80 carry bands that maybe they wanted to play a Jinx or a Kai'Sa, they're not able to. They absorb those bands, and now they're playing this Vibe pick that just looks really bad.
Yeah, Lucin
going in. Vayne.
Lucin could kill this. Lasanza very scared. Often the Lucin cleanse gets the free kill as Pantheon trying his best, but his best is not enough. The mid laner for the side of DRG will fall for the 4th time this game, as Lucin with red buff 4-1 about to get a 2nd item.
Yeah, I feel like we're just asking to die still in this bot lane. There's no reason for your bot lane to be here. You don't have any one of your turrets. They can be collapsed on so easily. They are playing with humongous balls, first of all, to be picking Vayne in this game, and then to be playing with this level of disrespect that they have no turrets, and they're just pushing to the enemy tier 2 turret is insane to me.
Yeah, I had to look. I thought Big Bald and Thick was playing in the top lane for a second, because the ball is on this team. is crazy. TF gonna see this Pantheon. Pantheon could look for a pick. And you need to go for these picks. As TF a little bit extended, but does not matter. TF is gonna yellow card, and that's gonna be a dead Pantheon.
And here comes the bot lane.
Here comes the dead Pantheon. Ramp has Lucid ulti. Gonna hit all of them. Lucid, proc, immortal, but TF ultimate. Lulu ulti's the Bane. Bane, you do not have anything. Bane is going to die. Lulu also gonna die. That is a 3 for 0 and a dragon. Lucid still going. Lucid is out for blood. Honestly, Sansa gonna go over the wall. Lucid gonna
Flash
dash
over the wall. Oh, coward.
He is not absolute coward.
Oh, the flash!
TF gonna flash over. Ultimate from Sansa. Getting bubbled.
Okay.
Flashes away from bubble, but it does not matter. Lucid too much damage. Flashes away from the turret gate. Flash out of there, but this is a 15k gold lead.
At 20 minutes, we're taking an hit turret, guys.
On ulti, Pantheon ulti, absolutely desperate. Pantheon gets a kill, shut down onto Nami. I never thought I'd say that in my life. But we do have Pantheon going for this.
Meanwhile, top lane.
Road saving. Meanwhile, top lane, the Jax, who is 2-1-4, hasn't done much this game, but doesn't care. This person top lane having a good time, chilling.
Jax is doing what every top laner dreams of. Jax gets to press tab, take turrets, and then see his team is winning.
Oh, but wait,
it's a beautiful thing.
Cocoon onto Lulu gets absolutely one-shot by Elise.
And that's why all these support mains, I hope you're listening. If you're playing a squishy support and there isn't a 7-0 Elise in the jungle, you should probably have a buddy with you to make sure if you want to try and get some vision. And that's why you need that buddy, because you are just instantly one-shot.
Yeah, 21 minutes in, Lulu does not have a single item. While on the other side, you almost have a 3-item loose, and you literally probably have a 3-item release if she doesn't go that Dark Seal. But we are hovering around this Baron. Owen being very, very aggressive when he could get one shot any time. But Pantheon's...
He goes in!
What is going in? Trying to say Pantheon, but he's gonna die. Jax flashes over the wall, gets knocked back over.
Here comes Vayne!
Ultimate.
Oh no, he cleansed it!
Oh no, he cleansed but died instantly. Sansa, you need to run. Sansa gets yellow carded, flats over by Nami. Pantheon going in.
Triple kill for the TF!
Yes, could be a Penna, but I don't think so, as they are backing up playing it.
Oh, we landed Cocoon!
Yellow card onto this Pantheon. Little ulti is going to save Pantheon's life. But this could be game over as they are pushing down this way, but no, they're not. They are going to play it safe and back up and get this ban buff.
Yeah, I guess Orin just wants to be out of this game as much as we do, because that Orin just full sent there and immediately gets caught, and 2 more players fall there as we will see the Baron being taken. This is quite the gold lead right now. It's a 16k gold lead at 23 minutes, just pure decimation.
Yeah, it's almost like the Pantheon and Vayne all have bad picks. Maybe they're probably one of the weakest champions in the game. If your name is not Spear Shot or Gosu, you probably don't play these champions. But yeah, King. I'm gonna ask you the impossible edition. How does DRG come back in this game?
They come to a gentleman's agreement on PayPal for 20 minutes to stall the game.
Okay.
That is how it's done. They take a pay.
I'll be honest. I don't even think it goes 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, I still think they don't win.
No, they don't.
I feel like dude could sit and base for the next 20 minutes and they would still lose. As soon as going down mid lane, Nami using an ulti for funsies. No ultimate on the TF or Nami. One single ultimate from Lucid, almost one shot in Owen. But this is going to be a last stand for the side of DRG. Elise playing in the blue side base like a playground. Lulu trying to get the poke out Panther. I think you need to go. You need to go. Wow, this split. But we are being very, very scared. Do not blame them. Vayne moving up. Oh, Opti. This is going to be the last fight. I do believe Jax going in. Opti onto the Vayne, saving her life. Jax is going to die. Such on Jax. Oh my goodness. This could be it. Lucid getting very low. Vayne moving up. Vayne, you get overextended a little bit, buddy. Gets
no cleanse.
No cleanse. Gets one-shotted. Absolutely disastrous as Vayne overextended just a little bit. The sounds are trying to run. The sounds like you need to dip. The sounds like it's going to fall. Pantheon, you have ulti. Pantheon, you need to be the hero of this game.
No, the hero of his KDA, you mean? What do you mean? He's not going back in there.
He's backing Lulu. Lulu trying to save the game, I believe.
Oh, he's ulting!
Fast Cocoon. He is dead. Pantheon going in with the ultimate. He could one-shot his Nami. He does. but it does not matter as that is going to be game number 2 and the series for Sood.
Man, that was that was a series
Hmm.
where, unlike yesterday, or on Saturday when we were casting Unstoppable, the drafts didn't matter. In this situation, the drafts did matter.
Yep.
And if you try and play very greedy situations, you're gonna get punished. And this was just full greed or full confidence. I don't know what you want to call it. But
Mm.
playing Vayne Lulu with a Pantheon into at least TF, Lucian, it just doesn't seem like something you really want to play. And it's shown why. I mean, we're talking about a 20k gold difference to end the game there. Just
Yeah.
monstrous lead.
Yeah, the lead was absolutely crazy. I don't know what happened in between game 1 and game 2 that we were absolutely just tilted off the edge of the earth because game 1 honestly wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
The only problem was Beldef got ahead. That happens in a lot of games where one person gets so fed they easily carry the game. Just the next game, go into it saying, okay, the jungler's a problem. Let's play around not feeding the jungler. But they said, you know what? We lost. Block me in Pantheon. B3 me Pantheon with a Lulu and then a last pick Vayne. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's like a draft from season 2. I don't understand. I do not understand why we did what we did.
Yeah, and like we talked about, if you're gonna stay on blue side, then you really need to make your first pick worthwhile. We didn't like the Sejuani on the first game because it just makes it too obvious for what Stroh's going to want to do to play against it. This time they go for the Lulu. We thought it was going to be Lulu Zeri, and then it was Ornn, and then it was Pantheon, and then it was Lissandra, and then we somehow end on Vayne. So yeah, they really would have probably done better if they were going to go for this Vayne pick to just be on red side and wait till you see the complete draft before you pick something like this. Obviously, just picking into Lucian Nami, you're just asking to lose, in my
Mhm.
opinion. But especially when you don't know the information of the middle laner, which was end up being this TF pick that was played really well by Albino this game.
Yep.
Obviously, for the series, we're gonna have to give MVP to Stro. I mean, he did a beautiful job tracking jungle both games.
Yep.
He was very impactful in every lane. He was impacting top lane early, impacting mid lane, getting bot lane ahead, tracking enemy jungle to get that information. So that way, a Pantheon could never get this Vayne in the game. It was just like a masterclass, to be honest.
I do agree. Stro showing us that he is the best jungler in Draft League, and by far, he has dominated every single game that he's been in. I'm very curious to see when playoffs come if he can bring that into the upper league. I know he's in the lower bracket, so I'm very curious to see how he does in the upper bracket against the higher rated teams per se.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm looking for as a team from the upper bracket.
Exactly.
Much
But
better.
is any final thoughts, King, before we get off of this podcast?
No, I mean it was a pleasure. Like always, we're very excited to take up the opportunity to cast this game. Not normally we normally do because we normally play in the draft league. So it was cool to see games being played. I wish the games were a little bit closer. I wish people would learn how to draft, but that's for another segment. We'll move on and we'll see you guys on Friday for the real draft league broadcast, and then following it off by Saturday we'll have Rampage and Unstoppable.